Everybody wants to know the secret. I am 106 years old, and wherever I go, people look at me like I am a magic trick. They ask me, Sal, what is the secret? How have you lived so long? How are you so happy? They lean in close, expecting me to give them a recipe. They think I am going to say it is the olive oil, or maybe the red wine, or perhaps walking 2 miles every morning. I do all those things, sure, but that is not the secret. You want to know the truth? Come closer. I am going to tell you something that took me a full century to understand. The secret is that you choose. Every single morning, before you put your feet on the floor, you make a decision. Joy is not something that happens to you like the rain. Joy is something you decide. Most people never figure this out. They spend their entire lives waiting. They wait for life to make them happy. They wait for the right job. They wait for the right person to love them. They wait for their bank account to hit a certain number, and you know what happens? They die waiting. I didn't wait, I decided, and that is why I am still here, still laughing, while everyone else is complaining about the weather. Now, before you think I am just a lucky old man who had it easy, let me stop you right there. You think I chose joy because my life was a vacation? Let me tell you what I survived. My mother died when I was 5 years old. Tuberculosis. I still remember the sound of her coughing blood into a white handkerchief. That sound has stayed with me for 100 years. My father brought me to America in 1928 with $40 in his pocket and no English. I was 8 years old. We slept on a wooden floor in Bensonhurst with 6 other people. I didn't have a childhood. I worked from age 10, making shoes beside my father until my fingers bled and my back felt like it was broken. I know what it is to be hungry. I know what it is to be cold. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for the darkness that came for me in 1951. That was the year the lights went out. That was the year I thought I would never laugh again. My first wife, Anna Maria. She was the most beautiful woman God ever put on this earth. Black hair like midnight, green eyes that could see right through you, and a voice like music. We had 9 years together, 9 perfect years. We had 2 beautiful babies. I thought I had won the lottery. I thought, Sal, you made it. Then, one afternoon, June 14th, 1951, she went up to the roof of our building to hang the laundry. Just a normal Tuesday. She kissed me on the cheek before she walked out the door. 10 minutes later, I heard a sound that stopped my heart, a scream, and then silence, a brain aneurysm. She was dead before she hit the ground. 28 years old. I was 31. I was left alone with 2 crying babies and a hole in my chest the size of the ocean. I didn't know how to breathe. I didn't know how to stand up. And in that moment, I made a terrible mistake. A mistake that almost destroyed what was left of my family. I became something ugly. I became something dangerous. I became the angriest man in Brooklyn. After Anna Maria died, I didn't just grieve, I raged. I was furious at God. I was furious at the doctors. I was furious at the sun for having the audacity to shine when my wife was in a box. For 6 months, I was a terror. I yelled at my customers in the shoe shop. I yelled at my sister who tried to help with the kids. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I walked around with clenched fists, looking for a fight with the universe. My children, my beautiful motherless children, started to hide when I came home. They were scared of their own father. I was poisoning the only good thing I had left. I was digging a hole so deep I didn't think I could ever climb out. But then, one night in December, my daughter Lucia, she was only 5 years old, came into the kitchen where I was sitting in the dark, drinking whiskey. She was wearing her little nightgown, and her face was wet with tears. She looked at me, trembling, and she asked a question that cut me deeper than any knife ever could. She said, "Papa, why are you so mad at us? Did I do something wrong? Is it my fault Mama went away?" I looked at this little girl, this innocent child who had lost her mother, and now she thought she was losing her father too. She thought my anger was her fault. In that split second, my heart broke all over again, but this time, it broke open. I realized what I was doing. I was punishing my children for a crime nature had committed. I was compounding the tragedy. I fell to my knees and I hugged her, and I wept for the first time in months. That night, I made the decision. I looked in the mirror and I said, "Sal, you have a choice. You can be angry or you can be a father. You cannot be both." And Anna Maria, God rest her soul, she didn't marry an angry man. She married a man who made her laugh. She married a man who loved life. I decided right then and there that I was going to honor her memory not by being miserable, but by being the man she fell in love with. I was going to make my children laugh again. It wasn't easy. I was still sad. I was sad every single day for years. But I realized that sadness didn't have to be the only thing my children saw. They were going to see joy too. They were going to see their father choose life. And slowly, the light came back into our house. I thought I had learned the hardest lesson of my life. I thought I had paid my dues. But life has a funny way of testing you just when you think you are safe. 27 years later, in 1978, the world came for me again. I was 58 years old. I had rebuilt my life. I had built a business. I thought I was secure. And then, in one single night, I stood on a sidewalk in my pajamas and watched everything I owned turn into ash. In 1978, my shoe repair shop burned to the ground. It was an electrical fire. Started in the walls at 3 in the morning. By the time the fire trucks arrived, the roof had already collapsed. I stood on the cold sidewalk, shivering in my pajamas, watching 26 years of my sweat, my blood, and my family's legacy turn into black smoke. That shop was my identity. It was how I fed my children. It was where I taught my son to work. Inside were machines my father had bought. Inside were photos of Anna Maria, all of it gone. I was 58 years old. I had no insurance. I had very little savings. By all logic, this was the end. This was the moment where a man gives up. I remember looking at the flames and feeling a wave of despair so heavy it almost knocked me over. I thought, I am too old to start over. I am finished. The neighbors were crying. My son was crying. But then, as I watched the last wall crumble, a strange thought entered my mind. A thought that didn't make any sense. I looked at my hands. They were covered in soot, but they were working. I took a deep breath. My lungs filled with smoke, but they were working. I looked at my son standing next to me. He was safe. I realized in that moment that the fire had taken my inventory, but it had not taken me. It had taken the things I made, but it had not taken my ability to make them. I started to laugh, just a little chuckle at first. My son looked at me like I had lost my mind. "Papa," he said, "why are you laughing? We lost everything." I turned to him and I said, "No, Enzo, we lost the stuff. Stuff is just stuff. We are still here, and as long as we are still here, we can build it again." That is lesson number 1, and I want you to write it down. Hard times don't have to make you hard. You get to choose. You get to choose if the fire consumes you or if it refines you. I chose to be refined. I realized that my security was not in the building. It was in my resilience. If I could lose everything and still be standing, then I was invincible. We rebuilt. It took 5 years. It was hard work. But I did it with a light heart because I knew that nothing I owned was truly mine anyway. It was all just on loan. I learned to hold things loosely. And that freedom prepared me for the greatest surprise of my life. You see, I thought my romantic life was over. I was an old man. I hadn't held a woman's hand in almost 40 years. I was content to be alone. I thought love was a young man's game. But the universe loves to prove us wrong. In 1990, when I was 70 years old, I walked into a church potluck for a plate of lasagna. I wasn't looking for anything but cheese and sauce. But across the room, I saw something that stopped me dead in my tracks. A woman. But not just any woman. A woman who would cause a scandal so big, my own family would stop speaking to me. Her name was Gloria Washington. She was 62 years old, a retired nurse, and she was black. In 1990, in my tight-knit Italian neighborhood in Brooklyn, you didn't see a lot of Italian men holding hands with black women. But when I saw her laughing across that church hall, I didn't see color. I saw light. I saw the first person in 40 years who looked like she knew how to enjoy a Tuesday. I walked right up to her, past the lasagna, past the whispers, and I introduced myself. And let me tell you, the room stopped eating. The silence was so loud you could hear a pin drop. People stared. They whispered behind their hands. "Look at Sal," they said. "Has he lost his mind?" But I didn't care. I asked her if she liked jazz. She said yes. I asked her if she liked Italian food. She said, "Only if it is authentic." And right there, I knew I was in trouble. I knew I was falling in love. But falling in love at 70 comes with a price tag that young people don't have to pay. The price was my family. My son, Enzo, my own flesh and blood, was furious. He came to my house and told me I was disgracing his mother's memory. He told me the neighborhood was talking. He told me I was making a fool of myself. He didn't speak to me for 2 years. 2 years. Imagine that silence. But I stood my ground. I looked my son in the eye and I told him the truth. I said, "Enzo, I love you, but I have been cold for 40 years. I have been alone in this house since 1951. This woman brings the sun, and if the neighborhood doesn't like it, the neighborhood can go to hell." That is lesson number 2, and I hope you learn it before you are 70. Stop caring what people think. Other people's opinions will not keep you warm at night. Other people's opinions will not hold your hand when you are sick. Only you can live your life. Gloria and I, we didn't just survive the scandal, we thrived. We had 33 years together, 33 beautiful years of laughter and travel and burnt toast and jazz music. She died last January in her sleep. She was 95. I held her hand all night until it went cold. I miss her every single hour of every single day. But you know what? She would be so angry at me if I stopped laughing. She used to say, "Sal, don't you dare sit around feeling sorry for yourself. We stole 33 years from the universe. That is a victory." And she is right. But looking back at my life, at the joy I found with Gloria, at the peace I found after the fire, I realized something strange. I realized that my happiness didn't actually come from the circumstances. It didn't come from the new wife or the new shop. There was a specific mindset shift I made that allowed me to be happy. And the crazy thing is, I could have made that shift when I was 30. I wasted decades looking for happiness in the wrong place. You want to know what makes me happy now, at 106? It isn't a yacht. It isn't a mansion. It isn't a pile of gold. I will tell you the list. It is the smell of coffee at 7 in the morning. It is the way the light hits the kitchen table. It is the voice of my great-granddaughter Sophia when she calls me on Sundays and tells me about school. It is the taste of crusty bread dipped in tomato sauce. It is the sound of an old Frank Sinatra song on the radio. That is it. That is the whole list. And here is the secret inside the secret. I could have been this happy at 30. I could have been this happy at 40. The coffee tasted just as good back then. The sun shone just as bright. But I was blind. I was too busy looking at the horizon to see the flower at my feet. I was too busy chasing more. I thought happiness was a destination. I thought it was waiting for me in the future, like a package that hadn't been delivered yet. I was wrong. Happiness is not in the future. Happiness is right here, hiding in the things you are already ignoring. This is the mistake almost everyone makes. You think, I will be happy when I get the promotion. I will be happy when I get married. I will be happy when the kids grow up. No, you won't. Because by the time you get there, you will have moved the goalpost. You will be looking for the next thing. Happiness is not a result. It is a practice. It is the ability to sit in a chair, breathe in and out, and realize that simply being alive is a miracle. Tonight, when you turn off this video, I want you to do something. I want you to sit down and look around your room. Find 3 things you are grateful for. Not big things, small things. The way your dog looks at you. The fact that you have a roof over your head. The fact that your lungs are pumping air without you even having to think about it. Start there. Gratitude is a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it withers. But if you do exercise it, if you train yourself to see the gold in the dirt, your life will change instantly. I am 106 years old. If you look at my life on paper, it looks like a tragedy. I lost my mother at 5. I lost my first wife at 31. I lost my business at 58. I lost my second wife at 105. By all rights, I should be the saddest man in the world. I should be bitter. I should be cursing the sky. But I am not. I am the most grateful man I know. Why? Because every morning, I wake up and I do a specific calculation. I weigh what I have lost against what I have left. And every single time, the math tells me the same thing. The calculation is simple. I ask myself, am I breathing? Yes. Can I see the sun? Yes. Do I have memories of people who loved me? Yes. Then I am rich. The losses. The losses are the price of admission. You cannot have love without the risk of loss. You cannot have 60 years of work without the risk of fire. Pain is the tax we pay for the privilege of being alive, and I pay it gladly. Every morning before I even get out of bed, I say one word, gratia. Thank you. Thank you, God, for one more day. I don't know what is going to happen today. Maybe I will fall down. Maybe I will get sick. Maybe this is the last day. But right now, in this second, I am here, and that is enough. You choose joy, not because life is easy. You choose joy because the alternative is misery. And let me tell you, misery is a boring way to spend your time. It is a waste of the precious, limited hours you have left. I have seen enough darkness to know that it doesn't lead anywhere. Darkness is a dead end. But light is infinite. I refuse to give my final years to the shadows. I have fought too hard to get here. I have survived too much to end my story with a complaint. And this brings me back to the very beginning, to the words of a woman who died 101 years ago. My mother. I was only 5 years old when she died, but I remember her voice like it was yesterday. She used to hold me in her lap in our tiny kitchen in Italy, smelling of garlic and soap, and she would whisper something in my ear. At the time, I didn't understand it. I thought she was just talking to comfort me. I didn't know she was giving me the map to my entire life. She would say, Salvatore, la vita è bella se la guardi bene. Life is beautiful if you look at it right. I didn't understand when I was 5. I thought life was scary. I didn't understand when I was 30 and standing over my wife's grave. I thought life was cruel. I didn't understand when I was 58 and watching my shop burn. I thought life was unfair. But now at 106, standing at the finish line, I finally understand. She wasn't telling me that life is easy. She wasn't telling me that life is perfect. She was telling me that beauty is a choice of perspective. Life is beautiful. Not the perfect life you see in movies. This life, the one with the pain, the one with the loss, the one with the broken hearts and the burnt buildings. It is all beautiful because it is yours. And you only get one, just one. So please, for the love of God, stop waiting. Stop waiting for the world to fix itself. Stop waiting for the pain to go away. It won't. But the beauty won't go away either, if you look for it. Choose joy now. Today, while you still have the breath to say the word. That is the secret. That is the whole secret. Now that I have told you the secret, you have a problem. You can no longer pretend you don't know. You can no longer pretend that your unhappiness is someone else's fault. You can no longer blame your job, or your spouse, or the economy. I have stripped you of your excuses. I have shown you that a man can lose everything, his mother, his wife, his livelihood, and still choose to be the happiest man in the room. So the question is no longer, how do I find happiness? The question is, do I have the courage to choose it? People ask me one final question before they leave. They whisper it because they are scared of the answer. They ask, "Sal, you are 106. Are you afraid of dying?" I look at them and I smile, because they are asking the wrong question. I am not afraid of dying. Dying is easy. It is just like going to sleep after a long day of work. I am not afraid of the end. But there is one thing I am afraid of. One thing that terrifies me more than death ever could. And if you are smart, it should terrify you too. I am afraid of not living. I am afraid of getting to the end and realizing I wasted my turn. I am afraid of the unsmelled coffee. I am afraid of the unheld hands. I am afraid of the laughter that stuck in my throat because I was too proud to let it out. Do not fear death. Fear a life where you were alive, but you didn't live. Fear arriving at the grave with a pristine, untouched soul. Use it up. Wring every drop of joy out of this life. Love the people God gave you. Forgive the ones who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you don't have time to carry the heavy luggage of hate. I am tired now. I have talked enough. It is time for my nap. But before I close my eyes, I want you to make me a promise. Promise me you won't wait until you are 106 to figure this out. The secret is yours now. Do not waste it. Ciao.